Okay, for the second video, this is properties of logs. These are things you're going to have to know, both for the problems at the end of the worksheet, but also for the unit in the test. When you add two logs together, assuming they have the same base, which these would both have base 10, remember if there's no base, it's a base 10. When you add logs together that have the same base, you actually can rewrite it as a single log with the two parts, whether they could be variables or constants, with these two things multiplied together. So say this was log of 3 plus log of 5. And if you have, go ahead and type that in your calculator if you have your calculator. And if you all don't have calculators, then do the problems up until the point where you need one. Anyways, log of 3 plus log of 5 is going to be, when you add them together, you can multiply them. So that's the same thing as log of 15. So if you put log of 3 plus log of 5 in your calculator, make sure you close the parentheses on 3 and 5. And you put log of 15 in your calculator, you'll get the same thing. Assuming, again, that you remember to close the parentheses. And then you have subtraction. Subtraction is going to be division. And the reason, well, let me tell you why. So if you remember from exponent rules, if you have something like x squared times x to the 5th, you get x to the 7th. And if you remember, logs and exponents are inverses. So with exponents, when you multiply, you add them. And with logs, when you add them, you multiply. So if we look at this, that's a good way to remember it, at least. So if we look at this, log, let's say we had log of 8 minus log of 2, your initial reaction might be, oh, log of 6, but it's not. When you subtract, you're going to divide. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. So if you type log of 8 minus log of 2, again, make sure you close these parentheses because it automatically opens a parentheses here. Make sure you close it. You're going to get the same thing as if you put log of 4. And if you remember with exponents, log, or x to the 5th divided by x squared, when you divide, you subtract. Okay. Now let's look at this last one. So when you have a coefficient like this, it becomes the power. So for instance, if you had 4 log of 2, you could type that in your calculator and you would get the same thing if you typed log of 2 to the 4th, which is 16. Log of 16. So those are all the same. Okay, so you're going to need that on one of the examples. Let's look at one of these examples. Definitely copy this down. So if you need to pause it here, if you didn't get it, copy it down. But let's look at one of these examples. Actually, I'm going to leave that section up. Okay. Okay, so let's look at this one. Okay, so we have this problem, number 18. You have 18 on your sheet. So we have log base 6 of 2x minus 6 plus log base 6 of x equals 2. And we know when we add two logarithms, which we're doing right here, we multiply them. So what we're going to get is still going to be log base 6, just like these stayed log base 10. Remember, if there's no base, it's a 10. And then we're going to multiply x times 2x minus 6. X times 2x is 2x squared. I'm going to put all this in parentheses. Negative 6 times x is minus 6x equals 2. Okay, so we get this. Then we need to solve it. So we have the log by itself. We put it in exponential form. Our base is 6 squared equals 2x squared, minus 6x. So 6 squared is 36 equals 2x squared minus 6x. Okay, there's a number of things you can do here. This is just a quadratic. So we get 0 equals 2x squared minus 6x minus 36. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to either factor this quadratic formula or graph in y1 and y2 and do second trace intersect. But to make it easier, whenever you have an equation, I can do something over here and over here. So I'm going to divide everything by 2 just to make it a little bit simpler. Okay, and then that was going to be, if I factor it, x minus 6, x plus 3. So my answers would be from here. You set each of these equal to 0. So if x minus 6 equals 0, then x equals 6. And if x plus 3 equals 0, then x equals negative 3. Now we need to try both of these and make sure they work. But you can't take the log of a negative number. So it's going to be just this one.